Hey everyone, and thank you. One of the things when you do enough video, um, you see changes in facial features over time. A lot of times the changes are very small, and the people who love you don't necessarily recognize them, and they don't really think to bring them up. But when you do video, and one of my video watchers has pointed out, Brian, there's been changes. Are you okay? Thank you for pointing it out. And the answer is that I'm okay enough. But the facial changes are going to be something I will talk to my family doctor about, because he needs to be, and I have a really good family doctor here, by the way, really good family doctor. But yeah, there is, on this side of when I smile, it's not the same. It is changed. There's also just when I'm normal, there's a little bit of droop here too. And those are things to point out. But when people ask, are you okay? My latest medical abnormality, there's a ton of them, trust me. You guys watch this, so you know that psychologically there's some abnormality there alone. But it's part of what makes Brian Brian. There are changes. Thank you for noticing. I don't know how to say the word of what I now have. It's hydrocephalitis or hydrocephalus something or other. Still doing research on it all. But what's going on in here is that there's fluid in there. And that fluid it protects your brain. It's what your brain sits in. And that fluid also runs down your spinal cord, protects your spinal column, spinal fluid. And that spinal fluid is also cerebral spinal fluid. It's brain spinal fluid. It's a system of fluid that runs in your brain and down your back. It's a system. It's a plumbing system, kind of like a sump pump system in a house in a lot of ways. Thinking of it, explaining it easily. And one of the changes that has happened is my fluid is not moving effectively like it used to. I'm aging. Kind of a fact of life of everybody, unfortunately. And so what's happened then is this eye, and it started with pressure on this eye. There was just pressure. It hurt. So I had gone to my ophthalmologist because I'm diabetic, so wanted to make sure there was no changes going on with eyes. Very important. And it was an easier place to get started in the Canadian healthcare system. Hey, can you take a look at my eye? Here's $200 for you to run tests. Okay, sure, we'll run our tests. And they ran their tests and they said, yes, something is putting pressure on your optic nerve. And that's why this eye has changed a little bit too. And maybe that's why this side of the face is, I don't know. It's going to be one of those questions I'll ask my doctor, because I'm an advocate for my own healthcare, trust me, and I'll ask those questions. Try to get down to the bottom of that. But thanks for pointing it out. So the pressure on the eye also gives me low-grade headaches. So every day, pretty much wake up with a low-grade headache. And it causes a little bit of balance, not anything serious at all. Sometimes it's distracting, but just like all of my long COVID symptoms, my tinnitus, sometimes that can be distracting too. It's just there. It's there now. I block it out. Somehow this brain can do that with the fluid it has. So anyway, pretty weird. Sorry about this, but and you have to be when you have as many different things going on with you as I have. I don't worry about them. I just know that I need to continue to keep touching people because that's what I'm here for. So at the end of the day, though, the fluid, there's a specific thing, hydrocephalitis possibly, whatever it is is putting pressure on that eye and also putting pressure on the brain, which gives me a slight low-grade headache. Over the day, that low-grade headache does get worse. By the time I get into 6 or 7 o'clock, it's changing. My body's changing. I don't have as much focus. Sometimes it takes my focus away, but my long COVID symptoms also provide me with brain fog too. So some days are just very, very hard, and I muddle through. I find the strength. I let the people that love me know, be a little kind to me today because I'm having a bad day, because they don't even recognize it, which is good. That way they're not worrying about it. So I would hate to have people worry about that. Let me worry about it a little bit. It's okay. I'll take that on my shoulders. But the pressure, the hydrocephalus, I did some research on it a little bit last night. It also makes other changes. It makes you need to pee a little bit more, can cause blindness, can cause seizures over time if it got out of hand, if the pressure got to be too high. Basically, if the fluid pressure became so big in here that it was pushing the brain up or over or whatever, then it can cause other problems. Not necessarily life-threatening problems to start. That could come later if it remained to be untreated. But now that it's been diagnosed, and now that there are changes, there just are, I'll follow back up with my family doctor to make sure they're nothing I should be that concerned about. Is there a treatment for this? Absolutely yes. The first thing was make sure it wasn't a tumor creating fluid. Doesn't seem to be that. It seems to be this hydrocephalus stuff, which is okay. And the treatment is to put a tube in up here. Doesn't sound like any fun. Having my chest cracked open twice was not any fun. Having my skull doesn't sound like any fun. So there is a treatment if it got to be to a point where it was truly bothering me, where I couldn't function. It really is where treatment would come in at. I make the best of what I can with what I have here every single day, helping you. It all gets kind of duct taped together every single day. It just is what it is. But if it got to a point where it was too bad, then yes, there's a treatment where they can put a tube in. The problem with the tube, from my research, is that they put it in up here and they filter it down into your heart to push the fluid out there. The answer there's no. I've had my chest cracked open twice. I have a heart that is functioning to provide life. And I'm sorry. But anytime you would otherwise mention heart, we're going to put a tube into your heart. No, not into my heart. Not to take this fluid. And there are other places they can put the tube in your esophagus. It's probably where it would go if I needed a tube. So yes, there are changes. I appreciate you noticing them. Thank you for your care in noticing them. And, my glasses are typically a little bit off. There, I think they're a little bit straighter. But I don't worry about them. They're just another appliance that, with my ADHD, it's like, no, I want to shoot the video. The video is more important than all of the rest of this stuff. Taking what's up here and conveying it to you in common sense ways is what video is all about. Hey, let me get to know this guy. Let me know where his heart is. But it is part of the theater when you watch me as well, too, is, oh, gee, there's changes. That's part of its old age. Just is. It's fun helping people, but I work really hard doing it too. And yeah, there's changes. That's why maybe retirement is on the picture in 3 years. Don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to get there. I might, because I'm helping a lot of you now. And I'm helping more every day. Maybe I do get to a point where I can scale back some of this other stuff and really, truly focus down in. I'm getting there one day at a time. I am making changes in 2025 to really target in on what I want to be doing. And I'm also bringing in, I'm having conversations, as you guys know, about bringing in some service providers to do some of the stuff that I can't physically do as I age. I had one of those meetings on Friday with Supreme Services. It was a really great meeting. See where it goes. But thanks for noticing. That's what's going on. That's the next medical thing going on, is this hydrocephalus. So far, it's just another thing to live with. God puts things on my shoulders that he feels that I'm a good advocate for and that I can convey to you in logical ways, so that you can learn by my example, so that when things start happening with you too, maybe you can block them out a little bit, not worry about them, and just say, God, thanks for putting that on my shoulders. I'll have to adjust. I'll have to get used to it. It's going to take me some time. There'll be good days and bad days, and truly there are. I'll be honest with you. There just are. Yesterday was not exactly the most pleasant day in the world. But I made it through. I'm here today. And I got more people to help. So I just stay doing that. And thanks for noticing the changes in the face. Truly appreciate it. I will ask my family doctor. I'm also going to join the Hydrocephalitis Association. They have a website, so that I can understand a little bit more of the progression of this next thing that I have with me. It is got some pluses and minuses. Well, not pluses. It's got some minuses to it that I'm still adjusting to. And if it got to a point where it needed to be fixed, it'll be fixed. Till then, it's change. I'm having to learn every single day of my life to adjust to change. And the change is both peripheral change, changing guard, changing companies, changing real estate brokerages, changing branding, changing all of that stuff, constantly, continuously building. The concept that you drive down the road and you're like, oh, that company just closed down, oh, darn, I like to go there. Now I've got to change and find something else that I like to do. So change is all over the place, and change is happening at a very, very rapid pace. And there are changes here too. But thanks for noticing. Seems like it's okay. I'm going to get started with my day. I've got all kinds of things to get done. I'll get going with them before the day gets too long. Have a great day. Bye-bye.